Have you ever wondered that you could survive with shoegating without doing the shoegating itself? Thinking about surviving with shoes, most of you would probably just give an answer of just do shoegating with catalyzing shoes equipped and go with a low efficiency, energy can fix later. This is the most common method of many doing a shoegate. Many will tell you the beautiful side of shoegating. Looking at them, tempting it in simulacrum, thinking that it will be so easy for you to do, just slapping some mods, lower efficiency percentage. Surely energy won't be a problem, right? And the answer is yes. With how much source we can now regain our energy, technically you can sustain the span for each cast. Auger mods, Brief Respite, being the must slow in, this method will work and it kickstarted a meta playstyle. The method is very effective, but it does not mean it is not mental taxing. Those who did and did not probably know the reality behind all this. But what if I tell you that you can also do shoegating without doing shoegating the proper meta way? Maybe not as effective as that, but easy. Update 34 comes with some massive quality of life updates, and it was a massive spot on. Many things got improved, life has been much easier when playing Warframe, but there is one part which sparks my interest. The buffs to the shield recharge mods. The buff might not seem obvious at first, but look closely. Reduce the shield recharge delay. This stat alone is the main dish we will feast upon today. Yeah, you might ask, how is this important? The delay reduce isn't helping much, to be honest. Yes and no. The recharge delay itself, if shields aren't completely broken, it will start regen back 1 second later. If it is completely broken, then it's a whopping 4 seconds, which is 1 second longer than a fully level rolling guard. You can now see why the traditional shoegate way is preferred. But with now the update of the mods, you can now gain a max of minus 75% recharge delay, which is 1 second when shield break, 1/4 of a second when it is not. You can now see how powerful this can truly be. Yeah, it might not be as powerful as the traditional way of doing so, but it does share a lot of interesting aspects I think should not be underestimated. For fast deflection, you can check out the wiki or just pause the video and see what notes it drops from. For Vigilante Vigor, you can go to Cedars, Earth, and find this old guy called Konzu. He will occasionally have the mod I described in the bounties, or this pic right here for easy reference. Basically, it will appear in tier 1 and tier 4 bounties with high drop rates. If you hate open world bounties, I guess you can just go to Warframe.market and just buy one Vigilante Vigor for dirt prices. But then Konzu won't have his early launch, so shield recharge rate scales like this. And you might ask, why this? Because we are abusing the shield regen for the gating. We are going to make use of this very much, especially since frames have different shield max. Your result might vary a lot, depends on what frame you play. This part might not be as important as the techniques we can execute later, but this regen speed is still very crucial as it decides how many shields we can gain per second and aim for a better time gate consistently. The shield recharge delay abuse is especially great on frames that either have some invulnerability or cast abilities, since you can take no damage at this period and you will start to regen back some shields when you are casting your abilities. You can also do some movement like this to manipulate the enemy AI to miss their bullets, increasing the probability of you regen back all the shields you lost. Frames like Garuda can abuse this very well, since a 1, 2, and 4 grant brief invulnerability, and you can make great use of it. If your shields broke, you are granted at least 1.4 seconds of invulnerability period, and as far as I know, is for most frames that will have this period of gating. And with now just 1 second needed for shields to start regenerate, you are almost guaranteed a partial gate of at least 0.33 seconds, which might not be much, but life saving at times. For frames that have invulnerability gates, this strat is very good, but does not mean those who did not have cannot make use of this technique too. For invulnerability gate, all you need is a mod called Rolling Guard. It gives a 3 seconds invulnerability, which basically means that you will have at least 2 or more seconds, but definitely less than 3 for the shields to regen to a good amount. Of course, frames with invulnerability gates are going to make use of this better than those who didn't have one, but this still does not change the fact that almost everyone can utilize this strategy to some extent. Apart from frames that have invulnerability gates, this is also very insane for those who has innate damage reduction abilities, Gara for example. You can use both adaptation and the ability, and with the new buff to shield now able to take 50% of the damage instead of 25%, they are able to gain a max 99.5% of damage reduction on their shields, and due to shields not breaking instantly, they can literally just jump into the air a little bit and shields are back once again. Not only now frames that always do health tanking don't need to always back into armor and health to boost their durability, you can now also spend less in the mod investment and go with shield tanking instead, which is far easier to maintain and extremely beginner friendly, which is deemed to be impossible in the past. This kind of recharge delay mods have proved their worth, and should they be a viable option for you to consider. And after some kinda rigorous testing, I found that this actually benefit a certain frame a lot, like a lot, and it's Hildrin. And you might ask, why? If you know how Hildrin works, you know how she functions. Her ability is strictly fueled by shields, and shields have some issues you might need to face. There will be times where your shield just poof, which might be dangerous, but fret not, Hildrin now has a 3.5 second gate to save the day to some extent. Remember the shield delay thing I mentioned before? Hildrin's gate was 0.5 shorter than it, which is before shields start to regenerate. This can prove to be a huge blow to her survivability, but since I'm not a hardcore Hildrin main, so if you are one of them, please tell me if I am wrong or not. But with now shield recharge delay being accessible to many, I personally think that Hildrin might be the best beneficiary for this buff, as now you can just rolling guard when your shields goes down, and just a second later, your shields will start to generate so fast that you can just cast Pillage or even Haven immediately and gain all the shields back, filling the holes in the unkillable Shield Maiden's path. As long as you have Rolling Guard available, or just Transference and wait for 3 seconds, as Hildrin is invulnerable when Transference, so which is also a viable method, I guess. I personally tested this build with Hildrin Prime and was getting good results. I might not be the best Hyunjin player, but I can confirm that this has some promising synergy that might shine even more in the hands of the hardcore mains. Is this strategy better than the meta way of shoegating? Yes and no. Basically Schrodinger's cat in some way. In the other hand, you don't have to lock yourself into always brief spike and auger mobs with a low efficiency. But power wise, since this kind of strategy is not really a shoegate on demand, you are bound to have some holes in the gating. But if you can deal with it, then you are golden. Not the better way of doing the shoegating, but it is easier to execute, require lesser investment. Trading some of the potential meta shoegate way can provide for a better experience and not just stressful button press at the correct time. Whether you still insist on the traditional method or intrigued by this new method of shoegating, it all comes down to your personal preference. The best method is always the one that is tailored for you. And so this video comes to an end. Hope you all enjoyed the very first time of me attempting on writing a script for a video and using my actual voice instead of just wall of text. Leave me a comment if you think I still can improve further. I will see you in the next video. I'm a deep to blur now.